whole world. So, I was very fortunate that I had a very early morning breakfast with yet another business networking group. I go to a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so which one were we at the other day?
Well, Be Inspired.
Right, Be Inspired. And
Yeah.
I think the reason why that name is so fitting is because the bacon was really inspirational. And the coffee was pretty good too. And the company, well, you can't beat the company.
It's a good group.
So thank you for having me along and having a little chat. So what we do is, it's called Life Skills Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
So we find people who have got life skills, and I know you've got life skills that we're going to talk about. And we just have a little chat, and hopefully the listeners can glean something from it.
Okay.
And if it helps people, then that's great.
Yep.
So, well, let's find out. So what is it, Jill, that you do?
Okay. Well, I sell a personal success and leadership curriculum, and I'm inspired by it, absolutely. And I basically market it and sell it, and also sell the chance for people to sell it if they want to do that as well. I haven't written this curriculum. I found it. I was very fortunate to kind of come across it, and it just intrigued me. And the more I looked at it, the more I thought I've got to give this a shot. It's really interests me. Personal development interests me, and I've always had a passion for education. So it's really cool.
The hook that I've found with personal development is quite interesting, really. I've read a lot of personal development, listened to a lot of personal development, and one of the personal development coaches I've heard a lot about is a gentleman that specialises in a science. He doesn't call it this, but that's what it is, NLP.
Oh, okay.
Neuro-linguistic programming, that's what he uses. And you know what, I was still having trouble, I was still having issues. So I went and saw an NLP specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And he did all this stuff to me that was absolutely 100% familiar. There was nothing new. The difference was I'd never used it on myself.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So, you can learn a lot of personal development, but until you actually use it, it's not much good, is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a car. If you just leave it parked in the garage, it won't take you anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Integrating it into your life. Absolutely.
That's the trick. So do you know where your program came from? Do you have a background about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, the guy that put it together, he's got this story, which a lot of these people do. He was a blue-collar worker, thinking about a better way. He was interested in personal development, and he was involved in a couple of businesses like that, but they kind of gave up. The businesses literally dissolved under his feet, and he more or less put this program together. But it draws from anything like from The Secret. I don't know if you've heard of The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, The Law of Attraction, Jim Rohn stuff, Brian Tracy.
Bob Proctor?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he talks about vibrations.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and all that, I mean, I've got a whole bookcase behind me of books and that I've, gathered over the years that are
Napoleon
just full
Hill,
of
Think
all
and
those.
Grow Rich.
Absolutely. And this kind of puts it all in one, but what it does, it actually gives you tools to use it for your life. So
that's key, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So the whole, giving gratitude daily, journaling, your life, just to get clarity about, things that have happened.
Journaling, clarity, absolutely.
Yeah. So these are things that I'd heard about, and then when I saw this curriculum, I just really loved it, and it's changed my life. I know it has. It's changed the way I am. It's brought things into my life, and I just love kind of sharing it. And that was actually why I joined BNI, the Be Inspired chapter, was just to share the curriculum really, and just to share, how you can kind of move through, rather than being more of a cause to your life, rather than just be affected about how things are happening to you. So I think that's really key.
And I think that's a very, very good point to make. You've actually got to do something. You've got to be able to implement it. I mean, like one of the things that I always talk about when I train people is keeping a journal, not necessarily a journal, but at least writing things down. And whilst I can't say hand on heart that I keep a journal every day. I do spend an awful lot of time writing things down, and the clarity that I get from it is just something that I can't get anywhere else. You actually use a journal?
Yeah, I do.
You use it daily?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
Are you a morning journal person? A night journal? Do you reflect and do it at night? Or?
More of a night journal.
Night.
Because then I just kind of feel, and it also acts as a little bit of a brain dump, right? So if you've got a problem that's kind of eating at you during the day, just to write it out, then I don't know, it just helps. And it
does
helps.
help.
Literally put it to bed so then you can sleep. Yeah.
It does help. We have a philosophy on that, which I won't go into, but it's used by a group called Musitude, who can teach 2 years worth of formal music, being able to play it. They can teach 2 years worth of ability in about 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
And it comes about through the clarity of the dumping all the mess out of the brain.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes from. And we teach it in our course as well, and it's incredible. I'll have someone on my course, and 6 months later they'll say, Wayne, they'll catch me in the street, I've started writing down things, and amazing stuff is happening. I said, really? When did you start? Last week, and it's incredible. It doesn't take long.
No, it doesn't.
It's almost instant. And in fact, I'll just do a little bit of the Musitude thing. It's where you get those eureka moments from, It's where the brain is free to be inspired. Like, for example, I get a lot of eureka moments in the shower. This might sound weird, but I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even, and all of a sudden there'll be a problem I've been grappling with for months, and I'll be just, why don't I just do that? Solved.
Yeah,
and it's
fantastic.
Just, you've got to have that downtime, don't you? You've got to have that brain dump, clear it out, and allow it to be inspired.
Absolutely. I used to do neurofeedback with children, where you connect, and adults, but I had amazing results from it. And neurofeedback, literally, you connect the computer to your brain, and from there you can see. I used to call it like high jump for your brain. You'd set perimeters and you would put your brain into those kilohertz. And once you start doing that, then you get a stillness in your body where everything starts to flourish. Like your gut bacteria grows better, and your health improves, and your sleeping improves. But the clarity of thinking, and even to be able to visualize, where you want to go while you're in that state, it's a big thing. So water does the same thing, of course, to the body.
Water? You mean drinking it or swimming in it?
Well, showering. A lot of people have those eureka moments when they're actually washing up because they've got their hand in water. It's a very
so water is like a super conductor. It's like that kind of...
I think it's what it does to the body. It calms the body.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So look, I know you've done heaps. Like you've done so much. But how did you get to be teaching this program?
Well, first of all, I don't teach it, I just sell it. That's what I like about it, because it puts it squarely into the person's lap who buys it. So it's up to you then what you do with it. And I quite like that because it's all about personal responsibility. But I was a play centre mum, and I homeschooled my children. And then from there I gained my teaching degree when I was 40, and I did that to give gifted children a voice. I had 2 very profoundly gifted boys. I've still got them. But they're 30 and 29 now, and they're just stunning. And school, they didn't fit school. It was not good for them. So it was kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. I was just a mum, but I knew I needed to do something. So that was really my journey.
So how old were they when you pulled them out of school?
6.5 and 5.
Oh wow! So you knew pretty much straight away that it wasn't working for them.
Oh yeah, I knew straight away. All right, because my oldest boy came home from his first day at school and said, "Well, I've been to school now, Mum. I don't need to go again." Just like, he could read and write already, and I was like, "Oh no, what am I going to do?" And it was downhill from there. So bless him. Yeah. But something that he said to me once was, Mum. And this was when he was 6, because I said to him, how was school? And he said, Mum, what did you do at school? He said, we do so much in a day, we do nothing.
Yeah.
And that is
wow,
key.
That's one perceptive little fellow.
That's huge. And when you hear that, so after I got my degree and I got my registration, I actually moved to Dunedin and worked at the one-day school for gifted education and ran the junior, middle and senior classes there and taught in them, and they had the most stunning, fantastic children. I just lived my dream in that job.
Was that scary that these people were so super smart, or you're up to it, you're super smart too?
Oh, no. You just point them in the right direction. I wasn't teaching them, I was just facilitating their learning. It's a big difference, right? So you give those children ideas and the room to grow and the room to think, and maybe if they just want to sit and read for, I don't know, half a day, then let them do that while they're mulling things over. They come out with the most amazing ideas and the most, I don't know, like those children were just stunning.
I think of that, the word I use is process. This day and age is so short of process. It's just about getting things done. It's about knee-jerk reactions. Like, for example, email. Brilliant for delivering a whole lot of work. Dump. Right? And then your inbox is full of emails.
That's right.
But actually reading them and processing them takes time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the world has kind of forgotten a little bit that processing step, hasn't it? So what you were doing is you were giving those gifted children the chance to make the most of their gifts by allowing them the opportunity to process things.
Yeah.
Is it that simple?
I think that, I might be going out on a limb there, but children are just so busy, too busy. They don't get that reflective time. And I even saw that with my own children, and I knew that it was just an instinctive thing when I was homeschooling. We would do a little bit of work and then we'd leave it. And just to leave it allowed them just to soak it up. They'd go out and play, we're out in the country, they'd play on their bikes or whatever, and then we'd do a little bit more. There was none of this absolute shoveling of information that seems to be going on, and busy. And I just think back to those gifted children, and I'm in contact with some of them, and they've gone on to be the most remarkable young people.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, I keep in contact with a lot of children that I've taught actually. Facebook is fantastic for it.
Yes, Facebook is good for that.
Yeah.
So you were in Dunedin teaching, then what happened?
Okay, and I also did a cluster of 10 schools, put that program together in Oamaru and ran and taught that. That was exciting because I taught children in the morning and then I went and visited schools in the afternoon to help the teacher with that child in that classroom. And that was really imperative, so that was fantastic. So I did that. Moved back up here. I'd been introduced to neurofeedback. There's always good that comes out of things. I had a bad accident in Dunedin. I snapped my Achilles, but the hospital mucked it up. And I was 8 months in a moon boot and I couldn't work, right? But the doctor that got me better, or got me well, she said to me, "What do you do?" And I said, "I work with, twice exceptional children, some of them with attention issues and gifted children," and that was it. She said, "Oh, you've got to come to a conference." So I followed her to Sydney, and I was introduced to a lady in Dunedin who had been doing neurofeedback in Sydney, and she became my mentor in that work because I realised that there was more going on with these twice exceptional children and whatever that meets the eye. So that was huge, and when I came back up here, that's what I was doing. I had a business and I helped quite a few children and adults actually to kind of get, to be more mindfulness. And people are talking about that now, but it was about 10 years ago and people they didn't know about it. And had a lot of fun doing that, and basically moved into this work. So done a couple of jobs in between times, but education is
education job.
No, kind of moved out of that, helped my partner with his business, and that's when I kind of found out I was really good, like just dealing with people on the phone and that type of thing. So the business that I'm in now, that's kind of, when I'm calling people, it's really good. I have no problem calling people that contact me or anything like that. That's half of what I do. So so it's kind of weird how life takes you along. I do miss the children, and I kind of think would I like to go back into the classroom? I don't think the classroom is a place for me, so I'm just wondering about that sometimes.
Yeah, I think probably in classroom you might be a bit frustrated with the paperwork.
I really admire teachers. I really admire teachers. Yeah, I really do. I've got some wonderful friends still teaching, and yeah, I really do admire their work.
Yeah, it's a hard job, that's for sure.
It is.
So that's how you got to be doing this. So where do you see selling this program taking you?
Well, that's an interesting thing because
where does it need to go is another question.
Yeah, that's right. Well, for me, I like the autonomy of it. Like, I can do this anywhere. So I can take this anywhere I want to do and where I want to be, including maybe a yacht. If I want to go cruising on our yacht, I can take it and still do that. I would like to make enough money to, I'm putting it out there, to have my own school here. Might be something that I could maybe fund, and that would be very exciting. So I can see this as a vehicle of, sustaining me, but also, helping those children.
So who would the school be for?
Well, I'm looking at, gifted children or twice exceptional children that, there's a lot of things that are not happening in education. There's a lot of people working to try and make it happen. So that's kind of like a bit of a dream of mine, but you never know. Dreams do happen sometimes.
Like Bob Proctor says, you've got to put it out there, that vibration's got to go out there.
That's right, yeah.
And so, cool. So if anybody out there was wanting to engage, and in fact, let's just hear a little bit more about the program itself.
Okay.
And then we'll ask how people can engage. So what are some of the benefits of the program, and what can you tell us about it? Okay,
so it's kind of like when I bought it, it's a little bit different to what's available now. They've changed it slightly, but the curriculum is still the same.
And what's it called?
It's called Beyond Freedom,
Beyond
Evolution.
Freedom.
And basically, or Masters of Destiny, you have different books that you just work through. So it's basically an online program, and you buy it and you just work through the books. Now it is actually a monthly program now that you subscribe to. I bought it all in one chunk. That was how they offered it then. They're not offering it like that anymore. Along with that, you've got a weekly call that you can listen into, that they pick apart a certain part of this curriculum, and that's really inspirational because people are from all around the world dial into this call, and you can hear about how this has affected or given strength to other people's lives, which is really quite cool.
So it's like, so you're not just left to read this program. You're actually able to listen in and contribute in a conversation where people are using the program, getting something out of it, coming up with issues, how workarounds.
Absolutely.
And so it's actually really quite an action-oriented course. It's not just a book you read.
No, that's what I mean. So it's quite a neat. It's quite a neat format.
It's got some momentum.
Absolutely, yeah. And it is about abundance creation. People that I've talked to a lady who took this up when she was, I think she was 66 when she first found this curriculum. She ended up selling it in like 24 different countries. It changed her life. It changed her family's life. Yeah, she had to go to senior net to even learn how to use a computer to get onto the curriculum, to get into it.
But once she got in there was no stopping her.
Yeah, it just kind of, it's just quite incredible how it, it has things in it like, to know for yourself, and I know in the past I haven't been that good about things, finding out about for my own self. I've relied on other people to, and trusted other people. Well, guess what? It's not a good game plan. In the end, you've got to know for yourself, right? It has different, ideas that you can just move along. One of the concepts that I love in there is the concept of your future self. Where will you be in 5 years' time? And to actually have write a letter to your future self, or write a letter from your future self to you, that type of thing. That's a really interesting little thing to do, and is
that one of the activities in the curriculum?
Yeah, there's just so many different things to do, different things to think about, and little little ideas that you can just journal and.
So, and it all comes down to getting clarity, being focused, and being able to take action. Because until you got that focus, it's overwhelming, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So
that's right,
this actually helps people sort out the junk and the mess.
Yeah.
And helps them. Okay, this is important. Right now, I need to do this, and then I start moving forward, and then you reevaluate where you're at.
Absolutely. We have a little set of 6 daily activities or 7 daily activities. And there's gratitude, and there's personal development, and there's visualization. There's doing what you need to do. In your life, whatever take that next step. Stop thinking about it. Just do it. Just because often the fear of just doing things is people just get stuck.
Yes, people do get stuck, don't they? They'll say, I'm just researching it.
That's right.
When are you going to research it? I'm a bit busy at the moment, but I'll get to it later on. And the research, and quite often, because I can be guilty of this myself, quite often you end up with a whole lot of tabs open on your computer. That's your research.
That's right.
When really what you got to do is just get on with it.
That's right, But I mean, the nicest thing about this is it's not really about fixing yourself. It's about taking the best that you are and being better at it.
The best that you already are.
That's right.
And
that's right. Yeah. So it's not about we're all broken and crumpled people or anything like that. No. It's about looking how we operate and do your best within those parameters. I mean, I'm partially dyslexic, and people laugh sometimes about my Facebook feed, that I put up. It looks like I'm drunk half the time. I'm not careful, but I mean, it doesn't stop me from posting. Let's put it like that. And I think it's
you got something to say.
Absolutely, yeah. So I should check it and recheck it. It gives everyone a laugh sometimes, but so just do it. It's the best policy.
So what's the perfect sort of person to take up this curriculum? What is the ideal person? Who's it going to help the most?
Well, I can think for me, it's really helped me. So I'm 50 something, and found myself a little bit floating in an area of I never thought that I would kind of be in the situation that I found myself in, and I'm really glad I had this curriculum to help me through that. That was something. People who have been struggling with work issues, people with employment issues, one way or another. They've used this curriculum.
Actually, I think there's something you said on your website about employment. Employment has changed, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's not get a job for 30 years. It's not even get a job for 1 year. Actually, is it really?
No. That's right. So I mean, a lot of people that have come to this curriculum and ended up selling it actually have been completely disillusioned by giving huge amounts of time to a job and then been on like some type of scale salary and it's been halved overnight, or you know what I mean. It is a total, if you do want to go into it business side, it is a turnkey business that you can pick up, learn. It's all given on the website training. Everything's it's given to you. You just have to put time into doing it, basically.
So Freedom Odyssey. Now you're living. Tell me, how did you come up with Freedom Odyssey?
Oh, okay. So I like the idea of freedom, right? But then there's that freedom's another word for nothing left to lose. So you've got to be a bit careful with that word. The word Odyssey. When we were homeschooling, basically we loved everything about Homer's Odyssey, the gods, the whole, it's never a straight ramp up to success, is it? No.
It takes work.
That's right.
Because when I first read Freedom Odyssey, I'm like, freedom and Odyssey is kind of like trouble or
that's
work.
Right. Yeah.
So freedom, trouble, it seemed like an oxymoron, but it's not. It's a paradox. It's
actually the journey to freedom.
Yeah.
That's how I looked at it. And now you're living because, I just think, okay, where do you want to work? I love working from home. I must be a real homebod. I love being able to just climb up these stairs and come to work. And
climb up these stairs into paradise.
Yeah,
and look, it's like Mount Olympus, really. You are like one of the Greek gods.
Yeah. But I mean, that was, and now you're living. I just think, well, we only get one life, right? So why not give it a shot? That's what I thought. Yeah. So it was kind of like, give it a go. I've never been worried about giving things a go. I might have fallen on my backside a couple of times, but what do? You just move on, learn from it.
You mentioned some interesting observations. Move on, take responsibility. This interview is full of gems. It really is.
Okay.
Right, so let's say there's somebody out there and they may or may not be struggling, but they're looking for something better, and they're probably looking to get more out of their life. That would be an ideal candidate for you, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Yep.
So how would they then engage with you or your program? How does it work?
Well, I mean, they can go to my website. I've got a lead collection on my website. You can just put details into the website and it will come straight back to me via an email. I've got a back office that is all included in the company, and that pops up as a new person to ring, and I'll just ring them and have a conversation about what they're looking for, and if we're on the same page. I don't accept everybody because really this is not for everybody, and you've got to kind of be a little bit of a big thinker to enjoy this. It's no good buying something. I don't want people to buy it and then say it's not working if they're not working, right? And that's a biggie. So that's why you've got to do the whole kind of journaling thing and the whole gratitude thing and get into action, because it's not something, if you just have it on your computer, it's not going to work for you.
Buying the program is not going to make your life better.
Absolutely.
It's doing the program.
It's doing it.
It's doing the work.
Absolutely. Yep. I do have a 7-day free course as well. So if people just want to do that and they want to pop their details that way, or PM me, I've got my Facebook page, Freedom Odyssey. They can do it that way, and I can just give them the 7-day.
So they can PM you on Freedom Odyssey on Facebook and have a look at that 7-day, or can they register on your website?
Absolutely.
For that 7-day?
Yeah, no, just put your details in, it'll come to me, and when I call them, I can just send them the 7-day free course. Yeah.
And that website?
freedomodyssey.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
freedomodyssey.com. All right. And
all my phone numbers on there too. They can phone me. Yeah. Very happy for people to phone me as well if they want. Yeah. Not a problem.
I'll just give your number now in case someone's listening, they might want to write it down and do it straight away.
Well, I'll give them a cell phone.
Yep.
Yeah, 021 117 6622.
021 117 6622.
That's correct.
Man, that's a good number.
It's a very good number.
That's an easy number to remember.
I nearly kissed the woman that gave me that number years ago. You know how grateful I am for this. Yeah, it's a great number.
Happiness is happiness. It manifests itself in many forms.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, so all right, that's really great. So now that's what the program's about. That's how people can get hold of you. Is there anything that you would like to add? What's the number one kind of secret that you've got out of all of the studies that you've done that has helped people move forward? Is there any one thing or set of ideals that has sort of stood out?
There's one quote that I have, and I had it in my classroom. I've got it sitting over here, and
is that one there, the mind?
The mind, once enlightened, cannot grow dim. And that's it. It sums up everything. So I remember times in my life that I found out a little bit about something and I thought, no, that can't be. And then I've had to go back and find out a bit more about it because it's just intrigued me so much. And I truly believe that this is what this does for me. Like, the more I do of the curriculum, the more I'm working like within the business, and I'm really pushing the boundaries with my personal capabilities where I see them, and going over the edge, pushing my comfort zone all the time. It just expands your life, and when that happens, everything starts expanding. People coming into your life, just opportunities. It's amazing just what happens. So so that kind of thing.
So the mind once mind once enlightened cannot again become dark or cannot dim more.
Yeah. But it's very true. Yeah. It's very true.
I believe you.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, well, thanks, Jill. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And cool. We'll play you this evening. The show's between 6 and 7.
Okay.
It's on 88.1 FM, which is Beagle Radio, and it's also broadcast on the internet, beagleradio.co.nz.
Okay.
It's broadcast online.
Okay. And you've got a Facebook thing.
Yes, and we've got a YouTube Life Skills Patrol. So I'll make sure I send you a link to the interview.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right, and you
thank
can
you.
fire it out to other people so they can hear how wonderful you are.
Oh, thank you. I think it was really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.